folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the...
Okay, setting proper motivation with 3 points. Refuge field. The refuge is the basis for us for the journey, because the journey of enlightenment, awakening your mind, requires incredible support and role model, and the source of refuge, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. They form the best of the role models and your greatest support. So visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us as so loving, caring and embracing. And for the Boddhicitta field, visualize your 2 kind parents and all of family members, including children and all other dear mother sentient beings living on the side, the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits living on the side, and that you are there to give full love, affection, attention, embrace to each one of them. And the whole purpose of this practice to awaken the seed of perfection within us. And we know that to awaken this, we need to remove the mental defilements. To remove the mental defilements, we need to know the nature of the defilements, which is of 2 kinds, gross and the subtle. The grosser one referred to as afflictive obscurations, the presence of which blocks us from attaining total freedom or fearlessness. And if you look at it, what they are like, we see contaminant karmas and afflictions. And within afflictions, we see the gross afflictions, inappropriate tension, and the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. And somehow we see that they are all stemming from the self-grasping ignorance. And for the other side, the subtler stain, referred to as a cognitive obscuration, the presence of which blocks us from attaining the infinite happiness. And this is like the smell of the garlic. After removing the garlic, the smell of garlic is left, like the afflictive obscurations and the subtle smell-like stains that constitute the cognitive obscuration, and more precisely is about the mistaken appearance of things object real. That is the manifest. It's not the cognitive obscuration, but it is the manifestation of the presence of the cognitive obscurations. And in both cases, the remedy lies in the wisdom of emptiness. And the whole purpose of our being together for 1 week, primarily to activate the wisdom of emptiness, and the motivation with which to activate this wisdom of emptiness, the motivation which is Boddhicitta, and this Boddhicitta, to what extent your Boddhicitta is intense, is determined by your great compassion, and the compassion is directed towards others. To what extent is the intensity of this great compassion is determined by your renunciation. So we see the need of the renunciation, Boddhicitta, wisdom and emptiness, and with this wisdom and emptiness, in order that to be very powerful, channelized, it should be supported by the single-pointedness. So with this in mind, let's turn to page 4 and imagine that all demons you are bringing along with you all demons and sentient beings to awaken the seed of perfection within each one of us, and everybody's joining you, and all Bodhisattvas are watching us. Page 3. And here by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. And here by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. And here by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje joda zoge jonam lo chanjo bardo dane yabzo che tage jinso gebe sonam ye dola benjire sanje dubare sho sanje joda zoge jonam lo chanjo bardo dane yabzo che Tage jinso kebe sonam ye dola benjire sanje dubare sho sanje joda zoge jonam la chanjo bardo dane yabzo che tage jinso kebe sonam ye dola benjire sanje dubare sho. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme Among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas, and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers in pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of past causes those helping my greatest achieves the aims of the world, and through the possession of which help subdue expound varieties of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher, Sukhada and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations, and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I journey to the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peacefully, elaboration-free, clear-lined and non-composite. Such is an actor like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one could fathom this teaching, in silence I will return to words. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is a perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of 3 times of obeisance. The forces of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is also everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expansive eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. As we recite this, just look at the qualities on the basis of which the Buddha was praised. And this is for us to remember these qualities and see if you have some of these qualities within you. If you do have, rejoice. And if you don't have, keep in mind that you have the seeds. We have the seeds of these. And our job is to cultivate them and nurture them. So with this mind, to the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the 4 destroyer, completely perfected, the full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and full awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you pace out 7 strides, then set him supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, flame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Just free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees from lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, wholly feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, say conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, let us read the Heart Sutra, page 29. Now, this is known as Heart Sutra for the reason that the Buddha taught the Professional Wisdom Sutra, means teaching on emptiness at different lengths. From all what the Buddha taught, can all be seen that they are all condensed in this teaching of the Heart Sutra. In fact, even the teaching you see, there is a dialogue between Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra, and finally Buddha, what's the English word? Buddha applauded two of them, their dialogue, and particularly the response given by Avalokiteshvara. So in a way, this is known as the teaching of the Buddha. There are three kinds. One, on Buddha directly give the teachings. Number two, that somebody gives the teaching who the Buddha is confident, who the Buddha is very confident in. The person gives the teaching on behalf of the Buddha. This is number two. Number three is that the Buddha blesses the person. So whatever the person utters is more like coming from the Buddha's blessings, Buddha's influence. They are the different teachings. So this one is more like the blessings coming from the Buddha, and the Buddha finally endorsed that this is how one should practice the professional wisdom. Okay, so we need to remember 3 points. One is that what is the question asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara? The question asks is, how should the child of a lineage practice the Perfection Wisdom Sutra? Meaning that child of a lineage means somebody who wants to become Buddha, who said, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings? Each one of us. And of course that should be very spontaneous. So initially it may not be spontaneous, gradually through practice it will become spontaneous. Once you have this, to become Buddha you have to do something. What should we be doing? The Buddhahood, you don't have to look for outside. It's right inside. Just remove the dirt and it will become manifest. So you have to put effort to remove the dirt. What is that effort? To remove the dirt, to cultivate the wisdom of emptiness. So the wisdom of emptiness is known as the perfection of wisdom. How should the child of the lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? This question asks. Then Avalokiteshvara went into great detail to explain what this emptiness is, how to see yourself like a dream, how to see each one of your aggregates as a dream, how to see the Four Noble Truths as a dream, 12 links of dependent origination as dream, and 12 sources as dream, 18 elements as dream, how to see all one and the 12 links of dependent origination as dream, and explaining in detail how all phenomena are empty like a dream. Then the point number 3. What is the benefit if we practice as Avalokiteshvara taught? So the benefit Avalokiteshvara again explained that on this understanding that everything is like a dream, nothing exists objectively. This is the only entrance gate for people, for somebody to go to the land of fearlessness and infinite happiness. And all the Buddhas of the past and the present and the future will traverse through this gate of the professional wisdom. So anybody who goes through this, traverses through this the gate, you will attain the state of fearlessness. So this is what Avalokiteshvara taught, and upon the Buddha, they endorsed the teaching given by Avalokiteshvara. So this is what we need to remember. Yes, okay. I prostrate to the irritable gem. Thus did I hear one time. The Buddha was dwelling on massive Valchas mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom train? He said that the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composition factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object with touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on up to and including no mind element, no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering or origination, cessation path, there is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, there is the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifest the complete awakening, unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the professional wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of professional wisdom is declared: Dhyata Om Gade Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha rose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, those around in the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that is spoken by the Buddha. As you recite the mantra, imagine that we are all there on Rajgir, the place where the Buddha Shakyamuni, the actual presided over this teaching, and His Holiness also paid the visit so many times there, and led us to the visualization of Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness Dalai Lama, Avalokiteshvara, Shariputra, and you are surrounded by all of family members and all demon sentient beings. And imagine that the Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting us thus: don't remain in fears of samsara. Come to His ultimate happiness. And you hearing what the Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting, you are so inspired. You inform this to all the demon sentient beings, and everybody is so happy to join you in this journey of cleansing the mind to attain the fearlessness and infinite happiness. Dhyata Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Dhyata Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Dhyata Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatam Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatam Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatam Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatam. By the teachings of three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, we'll read the 8 verses for training the mind, page 35. Okay, as we learned before, this is primarily to cultivate bodhicitta. And to cultivate bodhicitta in our own personal practice, we see there are 2 things to be done. One is to get rid of the non-conducive factors, and the other to bring the conducive factors. The non-conducive factors, you know, that was the opposite of bodhicitta is the one which embraces everyone, and the non-conducive factors should be the one to push others away from you. So what pushes others away from you? Ego, anger. Primarily these 2, ego and anger. So the great teacher Geshe Dorje Damdul, he identifies what are the factors which can invoke ego, which can invoke anger or frustration, and identifying these factors, how to transform them, these factors, so that your ego, your anger will be transformed. And all the non-conducive factors are gone, then the mind to push others stops. So when the mind pushing others stops, it leaves a space, it leaves room for you to embrace others. The mind will then behave in the possibility for the mind to behave in the opposite force, that is, embrace others, increases. Okay, this whole thing. And the last the verse, the last 2 verses will tell us how to embrace all others. Okay, let's do this together. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I had discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I helped or in whom I placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer a benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the end of mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom are splendid by ignorance. Okay, today we will read the 7 in practice. Just the next page, page 37. So I'm going to tell you why we are doing this. And so whatever we do, we make sure that we know the reason and we know the benefit, and let's not spend too much time in your daily practice. Not spend too much time in reading. So reading should be just adequate amount, and then the of course study should be separate thing. Study should be like a daily dose of study to give the energy to your practice and to expand your knowledge, to deepen your knowledge, so your practice will become deep and expansive. And why we are doing this is that, broadly speaking, that this is a journey of cleansing the mind. It's not like bringing about just a mere cognitive transformation. It is the cognitive transformation and emotional transformation. So finally, when you're happy, not happy, it's all determined by emotions, not by cognitive. So cognitive is the one which affects your emotions, which drives your emotions, which gives a quality to your emotion, or which destroys your emotion. So the cognitive and studying, all these things are primarily to enrich your cognitive ability, to make it deeper, wider, so that we will use them effectively to bring about effective transformation, the emotional transformation. So you are happy, not happy, embrace, not embrace. So you are happy when embrace. When you reject, you feel distress, you imprison yourself. So finally, we are driven by these two things. And these two things, how you do and what you do, is all determined by your cognitive thought process. So cognitive affecting your affective mind. This is how the expectation, we expect that transformation to awaken your true nature. Okay, so because that this journey is quite extremely very the important journey, it requires the support that all the non-conducive factors must be purified, must be removed. That's known as the purification processes. And the conducive factors must be gathered. You must be made rich. Enrich yourself with the positive qualities, conducive factors. That is known as creating virtues, accumulating the wealth of virtues. So, and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they reflected on this and how most effectively you can do to remove the non-conducive factors and gather the conducive factors. So these 7 limb practices are taught as a very effective way to do so. Okay, so the meanings are pretty straightforward. We read it slowly and make sure that the meanings are reflected, and in the process, these two things happening: purification is happening, and the enriching yourself with the virtues also happen. So it's a matter of to what extent you reflect on the meanings. Okay. A 7 limb practice, excerpt from the King of Prayers, an extraordinary aspiration of the practice of samadhi. Okay, another thing that I'd like to share with you is that 7 limb practice, there are so many versions are there associated with each of the deities, and I particularly picked up from the sutra here, from the sutra, so that people will have no confusion. Okay, this is related to this tradition, that tradition, I'm not from this tradition. We are just blinding ourselves, or we are just restricting ourselves from being very open. So therefore I brought it just from the sutra, not from any specific tradition. Okay. The extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, as lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms in the world, to all you Buddhas, visualize as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas, numberless particles, each amidst a host of bodhisattvas. And I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking accidents of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense I offer to you victorious ones of Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings and spectacular array offered to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger and ignorance, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize Parinirvana. Please stay with us for eons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated, by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, short mandal offering. Next page, page 40. I hope by now you know the hand gesture. Shaha, Jill will tell you. But you already know that. Good. Good. Okay, good. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha felt and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajib Ge Joshe Mendo Tam Re Rab Le Shenyen De Gyambo De Sanje Shendo Me De Bhawaye Jogunam No Shendo Jubarai Shom. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is rid of flaws. May I be blessed that flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The 4 Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. So these 4 are the renunciation, Boddhicitta, perfect view, and the union of bliss and emptiness. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence. Please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as visually repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality, bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Rana Mendela Gamnirateyami. Okay. Next, page 42, the foundation of all good qualities. This is the roadmap to awakening the seat of perfection, roadmap to become enlightened. on a daily basis, you, myself, each one of us, see if what we do tallies with what is being taught here. If not, we need to rectify, we need to fix. And if we do that, rejoice and see if it makes sense there. And we do that till what is said there by this great teacher, Lama Tsongkhapa. It makes a profound sense in us. Okay. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtues and non-virtues come or follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, and alertness in great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the breath amongst vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this trained in supreme bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if developed bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With the clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distraction to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma by special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gate with the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledge like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, we enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, and may I quickly attain the state of Vajratara. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land of snows, Losanta by your feet and make prostrations. Namo Zavata Jajarase Chayamakamba Vambo Jambayam Khajan Kaba Zoga Zokaba Lo Satabe Sham Lo Sovade Chajarase Chayamakamba Vambo Jambayam Khajan Kamba Zoga Zokaba Lo Satabe Sham Lo Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, lost on top at your feet and make prostrations. Okay, generating the mode of consummate yoga in Tibetan, Tamje Nejuga Simkepa. For this, the 4 parts. 1. Single point of meditation, shamatha meditation, then renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, that's it, and then taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. Okay, so why we are doing this at the morning session is primarily for people to learn how to design your personal practice to be done on a daily basis. It is not necessary that you have to do it on a daily basis, but once you discover that, for example, say you are suffering from tuberculosis, and they say you're wondering if I'm sick or not, then you don't have to take the medicines. When you are really sure that I'm sick and I'm desperately in need of medicines, and the medicine's right there, right? When the medicine is not there, you go in search of the medicines. When you see the medicines, isoniazid, rifampicin, ethambutol. When you see these medicines there, then if you don't take it, is your problem. Meaning, if you don't take it, is your responsibility, right? So, is your mistake. So, the point is that oftentimes after conducting these programs, people feel that, okay, now I've found some purpose of my life. Like, say, Boddhicitta, to just expand your mind and your unnecessary tension dissolve. And the barrier dissolves your mind. You could feel the ease. And with the wisdom of emptiness, you see so profound. And this can really give me fearlessness. So these are so practical things to be done in my life. So how can you do it on a daily basis? So people that ask these questions to me. So this is why we do this one practice, just for that purpose. Not that it is a part of ritual of the Bodhicitta retreat. No, it is not, right? But what it suggests is that you don't have to do it every day. But if you see the meaning, then you have to do it every day. Because food you take every day, you don't have to. But you take every day, because you know that if you don't take it, you see the loss. So therefore, this practice is so important. Why we are doing this, and particularly in the morning. Say the last 2 days, the Nicola so kindly took it. Otherwise, I'm coming here for that purpose. It may not be the everyone. So, for example, people who come in the morning, which means that you are serious. So, for serious people, you have to know how to practice it. So, for that matter, we are doing this. Okay. First 5 minutes of breathing meditation. The 4 points to keep in mind, and I don't see the reason why I should now go through these in detailed the instructions. So the body posture, focal point, then number 3. Wow, I give you full and you give me half. Errors. identifying the errors of meditation. And number 4, and Dogala is better. Dogala, tell me. It's also first half. Anyone else? Huh? Sunla. Applying the remedies to overcome the errors. Right? Okay. First, the body posture. Number 2, focal point. Number 3, identifying the errors of meditation. Number 4, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. You good, full? Next time, you give me 4. Okay, good. Ready? And particularly number 3 and number 4, so important. If you don't take seriously point number 3 and number 4, you are building a very bad habit. Bad habit means turning medicine into poison. When meditation is supposed to counteract our indisciplined, or what is that? Undisciplined mind. Right? What's the proper English? Indisciplined, undisciplined. Hey, Professor Lauren, Professor William, Bill. Indisciplined, undisciplined. Undisciplined. Indisciplined. Are you sure? Okay. So we have undisciplined. Okay. Undisciplined state of mind. Okay. Undisciplined state of mind. Undisciplined, my hunch. If to be used as adjective, undisciplined. If to be used as noun, indisciplined. I don't know whether it's correct. You're getting it? What I said? If to be used as adjective, undisciplined mind. If to be used as noun, indiscipline. Take care of your indiscipline. Right? Okay, I'm not sure. You're Boddhicitta. So you will say everything is correct. Okay, good. Okay, 5 minutes. Good. Okay, thank you. Now we move to renunciation. Um, Renunciation, again, there are many ways by which to meditate on renunciation. Again, I personally use the main framework of the renunciation from the sutras, from the Buddha's own teachings, because there are many the different traditions, Buddhist traditions. They come up with their own version, all grounded on the four seals as Buddha taught, but in their own ways. So I personally feel like to be very direct to what the Buddha taught, rather than going to the different traditions. Then the many people may feel being put off that okay, this is about from this tradition. I'm not from this tradition. We are all just one actually. Finally, we have to get rid of your miseries. It's not about misery of that tradition, that tradition. It's about your own. But then, so it's always better to go to the root, which is the Buddha's own teachings. The four seals, to be very direct. Ready? This is going to be analytical meditation and also guided meditation. And maybe from tomorrow we will do it without any instructions given. Just I give you the points and you follow the points. Then we move to the next point. This is how we do rather than giving the guided. So today we'll do the guided, and when we got okay, tomorrow there's no instructions, so I should be mindful of the instructions to remember when to do meditation. Analytical is where you should have rich information. Are you ready? Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce your miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to learn how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And the causes of the miseries, Buddha identified 4 kinds of ignorance, 4 kinds of misperceptions. Misperceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent, misperceiving impure things as pure, misperceiving miseries as happiness, and misperceiving the selfless nature as of selfhood. Where one is bound by any of these 4 misperceptions, or all four misperceptions, we are doomed to suffer all the time. So to get rid of these 4 misperceptions, Buddha taught the 4 seals. First, all composite things impermanent. And this impermanence of 2 kinds, gross and subtle. Gross one, where the impermanence is marked by the cessation of its continuum. For example, your youth. Once we were all in a teenage, and then young adult, and many of us we all crossed that age now. And some of us are still young, in your 20s. One day you'll be in your 30s. One day you'll be in your 40s. This is reality. You then in old age. Likewise, the beautiful days, the past beautiful days, the day when we came here to see the new environment, beautiful weather, vegetation, and everyone so peaceful. Day one of that experience is gone. And sometimes, watching a beautiful sunset, whatever you experienced before, they're all gone. And today, 8 billion human beings. There are so many young people, they have their own aspirations, the goals in their mind, and the parents have likewise expectations from the children. 200 years ago, maybe maybe 1 or 2 billion human beings on this earth. Similar was the case younger ones having the aspirations, having dreams, and the elder ones or the parents having expectations from the children. And today, where are these people? Whether they accomplish their goals or not, they're all gone, nowhere to be seen. And it's not that they are unfortunate, we are the fortunate ones. No, 200 years down the line in the future, what this place is going to be like, we never know. And 200 years down the line, 8 billion human beings today, not even a single person will be left then. That's the reality. Whether goals are accomplished, not accomplished, everybody is going to disappear from this planet Earth, including each one of us. This impermanence. And where there's gross impermanence, that is marked by the subtle impermanence. In other words, all composite phenomena, irrespective of their nature, should necessarily be governed by the subtle impermanence, momentariness. The changes that you see, we see ourselves as so static, stable. We see the house as so static, stable. And all composite phenomena around, except for some things like the fan moving, other things are seen so static. This is an illusion. This is the optical delusion that we are having. Just think of, this is what is known as seeing impermanent phenomena as permanent, and thereby we don't work hard, we don't put effort, we don't feel a sense of urgency. The reality is that all the things that you see changing in 10 years' time is because of the changes happening on a yearly basis, which in turn happens on a basis of the monthly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis, millisecond by millisecond basis. This is how the composite phenomena move. And your body, your mind, your friends, the people around your family, people around you, the places around you, they are no exception. They all follow this rule of momentariness. Okay, just in your meditation, see, okay, from the change that you see in 10 years' time, a little boy, a little girl of 10 years grown to such a huge size. Okay, so this change didn't happen overnight. It happened on a yearly basis. Just think of that. Year by year, the child is changing. And this change in the year is happening because of the monthly basis, month by month changes. This is because of the daily basis, day by day changing. This is because of the hourly basis, hour by hour changing. Just gradually move from the very gross to the subtler, hour to the minute, to the second, yes, to the millisecond, yes. Millisecond level is so fast. This is how your body is changing. This is how your mind is changing. This is how the place in which you live changes. This is how all of the members are changing, moving so fast. This is what the Buddha indicated as all composite things impermanent. Having this realization, just imagine that you are thrown in a very fast moving train. What is the feeling like? Of course, fear. The faster the train moves, the more the fear. And who decides where this train is taking you and why you have fear? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. And who decides where this train is taking us? The driver. And who's the driver? If the driver is your mother, no doubt this train will take you to a picnic spot. But if the driver is the enemy, is the terrorist, or the drivers are under the dictate, under the power of the terrorists, you'll be taken to a slaughterhouse. In that case, the driver is a mind, and unfortunately, this mind is under the dictate of the two terrorists, or two demons: self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. No doubt will take us to more and more miseries. This is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things are of suffering nature, where the mind is contaminated by the afflictions, such as self-grasping, ignorance, attachment, anger, jealousy, and so forth, will invariably take us to miseries. What kind of miseries? 3 kinds of miseries: suffering change, and pervasive conditioned suffering. Suffering change which is extremely unbearable, we cannot bear it. this suffering and suffering change, which is like a bait, so vicious, deceiving us, and pervasive conditioned suffering. The mastermind behind all these, to hiding away from us and deciding everything for us, and we are made like a puppet by the pervasive conditioned suffering. So this is suffering. In all three cases, we see the loss of freedom suffering. And one moment of such a suffering is good enough. Just one moment of suffering. Forget about the very vicious nature of the suffering change and the mastermind, the most vicious version of the pervasive conditioned suffering. Even the suffering, one moment of that is good enough to nullify all the past experiences of merriments, festivities, and the celebrations, birthday parties, and so forth. Loss of near and dear one just makes the whole early wondrous the experiences as meaningless, hollow, shallow, so grim. This is the meaning of all contaminated things of self nature. Yes. When will this stop? It's so painful to even think of that. When will this stop? The Buddha taught, whatever is accumulated will be exhausted. Whatever comes together, whatever gathers will be dispersed. Whatever is born will die, and whatever essence will descend. This is the reality. It's so painful when we actually hit by this pain of that there is suffering, three kinds of suffering, so painful. When will these stop? They will never stop on their own. Impermanence is of three kinds, two kinds and three kinds. One, where the continuum of this impermanent phenomena invariably stops. For example, our youth invariably stops. 2022 invariably stopped. Nobody has to do anything. It stopped on its own. The second class of phenomena, which impermanent phenomena, which never stops. Your mind never stops. Nobody can do anything to stop the mind. Time never stops. Nobody can stop the time. And this third class of impermanent phenomena, whose continuum will stop only if you exert a concerted effort. If not, it will perpetuate, like your miseries, your afflictions, your content comments, and particularly the worst of the contamination, of which is self-grasping ignorance. They will never stop on their own unless we put in effort. What kind of effort is required? Yes, I want to stop all these tears of samsara. How to stop that? By introducing a very powerful remedy to counteract the root of all the problems, self-grasping ignorance. What is the remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom? Wisdom is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the objectality is with the reality. What's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Okay, what is this emptiness? Okay, now let us quickly meditate on emptiness, since we already introduced to emptiness yesterday, the last few days, and particularly yesterday we consolidated the studies. So we'll meditate on emptiness. It's going to be guided. Just follow instructions, and do not try to tally or correlate with what we studied before or what you've learned before from any other sources and so forth. If you do want to correlate, you can correlate later after the session. For time being, let's take the maximum. Let's take the most so far being together by following the instructions. Okay. Today we'll do the meditation on emptiness of the self. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And what is your body doing? My body is in a meditative state. And how does this person who you identify as I appear to you? As objective real, or like a dream that your mind is creating it? And of course it appears so objective real, so solidly there. That belief that this I exists objective real, this is known as self-grasping ignorance. This is root of all the suffering. Okay, how do you know that this is a mistaken mind, this is a deceptive mind, and this is not a valid mind? How do you know that the self does not exist objectively? Okay, if the self does exist objectively, remember what Nagarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, one of those close by the mirage see water. With a similar token of reasoning, if the self who identifies as I to be existing objectively, why don't I see this I as I go close to the object? Okay, now let us subject this I, the person who identifies I, to this close inspection, and this close inspection is known as ultimate analysis. Okay, now subjecting yourself to ultimate analysis, just ignore all these things which are not the self. Okay, going there, we first see the thin layer of the skin. Of course, that is not me, ignore that. Behind that, the fatty tissues. Behind that, the muscles, cartilages, and parallel to them, the blood vessels. And then as a main structure, the support structure, the skeleton. Okay, so these constitute and then the heart, the lungs, the liver, and so all these solid parts constitute the element of earth. And of course, the element of earth is not to be identified as intrinsically one with its parts, meaning that in also ultimate analysis, meaning objectively, the self is not to be identified amongst these solid parts and the earth. Okay, next, 4 liters of blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Element water is also not me. Element fire, 2,500 joules of energy of your body, the body heat. Of course, that is also not me. Element fire is also not me. Element air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. Of course, that is not me. Element space, 99.99% of your body is space vacuum. Yes, of course, not me. The space is vacuum in nature. I'm a solid person. That's also not me. Element consciousness, your mind. No, that's also not me. I'm a male. I'm a female. My mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of my body. And people can see me. People cannot see my body, see my mind. Therefore, even this consciousness, element of consciousness or element of mind is also not me. Okay, now we see that in also ultimate analysis, which means objectively, the self is no way to be seen as objectively as one with its parts. Any of these 6 elements. That's true. Now let us see if the self exists as different from these parts, intrinsically different from these parts. Remove all the 6 elements. What is left there? Nothing is left there to be seen in the eyes of ultimate analysis, indicating that the self, nothing exists as a self as different from these 6 elements. Yes. And these are the only 2 possibilities for the self to exist objectively. And given that both these 2 possibilities are rejected, what is there from the object as a self? Nothing is there as object. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, that's amazing. This self dissolves. And I'm not inventing this experience. This is what I'm discovering for the first time in my life. It's amazing, so profound. In some cases, a ticking sensation can happen. Non-affirming negative in the form of this experience of emptiness that self dissolves in the form of non-affirming negative should come to a mind. And in some cases, a tinge of fear can come. A tickling sensation can come. Cold waves can flow through your body. If it does happen, you're very fortunate. Don't be afraid. Doing this practice over and over again, this fear will be replaced by incredibly profound, tranquil experience eventually. And if none of this experience comes to you, don't worry. we need to go for more extensive studies, more reflection, and eventually this experience will come to revolutionize our perception and revolutionize our experience of the emotions. Okay, that's amazing experience. But what's the benefit of this? Yes, just as this self, when it's exposed to the ultimate analysis, to be seen as empty of objective reality. Likewise, we expose all our miseries, sorrows into this analysis: sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, bewilderment, confusion. To this same ultimate analysis, we see they all will disappear. To discover that they're just like a dream, nothing really exists from the object. Wow, that's amazing. All you transcend in this experience of emptiness of your sorrow is transcended. That's amazing. Still in this experience where your sorrow is transcended. The sorrow transcends, your mental disturbance transcends, the peace dawns in you. Absolute peace dawns in you. This is what the Buddha indicated as transcendent sorrow is absolute peace. Stay in this experience for a while. Of course, this experience that we invoke now, this is just a similitude of nirvana. This is not real nirvana. Just imagine that if you can sustain this experience in its full form, then the transcendent sorrow will be experienced. So that desire to experience the transcendent sorrow in the experience of emptiness is known as renunciation. Stay in this experience of the desire, aspiration, that may I soon experience this emptiness where all my sorrows are dissolved, and that I be able to abide this experience very confident, with tremendous confidence. Stay in this experience of the renunciation for a while. Okay, good. Next we move to Boddhicitta. Are you ready? Boddhicitta. For the Boddhicitta, we truly need an incredible role model. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Let us invoke all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us. As so loving, caring, and embracing. So happy to see that you are going to follow the footsteps of these great enlightened beings, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And you are not only doing that yourself, but inspiring all other dear sentient beings, including parents, children, and all our family members, everyone with you. Are you ready? We'll do that on the base of the 4 seals. For immeasurables. First, immeasurable loving kindness. Just follow his instructions. It can be very superficial, it doesn't matter. Just imagine that you are practicing music. You just mimic the teachers what keys to press. Say practicing piano, what keys to press, you mimic your teacher, and if despite mimicking the teacher still no music comes out, only noise comes out. But you keep doing it very sincerely, gradually music will start to flow. This is the meaning of the practice, this is the meaning of training. So what we're doing is a practice and training. Even if it doesn't resonate with your real, the natural thinking, it can be very superficial, it doesn't matter. This is, keep in mind, this is a practice. Eventually I'll succeed. For time being, we are being deceived by the self-centered attitude. Therefore, it makes our mind not to feel that this practice really flows naturally. Is so superficial. Ready? Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassion omniscient minds to send for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies of yours instills in all happiness and causes of happiness within you and all other dear mother sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all the dear mother sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they are so happy and pleased and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion of omniscient minds to send forth nectars and very soothing lights towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies of yours washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries, primarily the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies of yours, they wash away all the miseries and cause of miseries, thereby you feeling so blissful, so happy to see that this miracle is happening, that the miseries and the cause of miseries within you and all dear mother sentient beings are washed away. You feel so happy and pleased. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they are endowed with. May all my dear mother sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they are endowed with. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they are endowed with, particularly Boddhicitta, the unconditional love of Boddhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, seeing that you make such a courageous commitment to take the responsibility upon yourself, they are so happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion of omniscient minds to stabilize the experience of the happiness and causes of happiness beings already endowed with. And you witnessing that you make such courageous you witnessing that such miracles happen towards all the dear mother sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. May all my dear mother sentient beings Be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. Instead, abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other Mother Sensation beings equally, leaving none aside. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sensation beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such courageous commitment, the intense happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion of omniscient minds to send the nectar of very soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. Mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies of beings yours. Frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Underscoring all the 4 immeasurables as unconditional love towards all the beings. Abiding the experience of unconditional love towards all the beings. Imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of the sentient beings with so much love, affection, and embrace, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. And this is the most beautiful mind. With this mind, with folded hands, let us make a Boddhicitta commitment together. I'll say the line of Boddhicitta commitment. Let's all say this 3 times together, wholeheartedly. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother Sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother Sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother Sentient beings. Just abide in this most beautiful mind of the Boddhicitta, the most beautiful mind that possibly exists in this whole universe. I slowly transform this beautiful mind of Boddhicitta into a spotless, clean, moon disk at the heart, horizontally sitting in the heart. Okay, this is amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the sentient beings. But let's not forget that no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, that's true. But I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm more like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out. I have the seed of the perfection within me, referred to as the Buddha nature. But how come that is not awakened since time immemorial till now? Yes, it's all because that I'm being deceived by the 2 demons which obscure my seed of perfection all the time, all along till today. I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons. I'm going to do everything to exterminate 2 demons. What am I going to do? I'm going to introduce a very strong, powerful remedy to overcome these 2. What is the remedy? The wisdom of non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. What is that? Okay, let's quickly invoke the wisdom of emptiness, which we meditated as the 3rd seal as a part of the 4 seals. What are you doing? Okay, let us now quickly do the meditation on the emptiness of the flower, the object with which we feel connected, and later on you do it on the basis on somebody who you feel so attached to, like your mom, dad, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So attached to, and then see how your mind reacts when you see the emptiness. It cools down. We see that all this attachment is just grounded on the illusion, optical delusion. Okay, let's say today we'll do on a basis of a flower that you feel so attached to. Okay, just think of a flower. Think of a flower, beautiful flower. And how does this appear to you? As object real, or as like a dream that your mind is creating it? not at all as a dream, is so solidified, objectified there, so objectified there, intrinsically there. Okay, this recognition is known as the identify the object negation. And believing that the flower does exist in that form, this is known as self-grasping ignorance. And this root of our miseries. Okay, how do we know that this is a misconception, this is ignorance? How do you know that this is not a valid mind? Remember, if it does truly exist objectively, remember what our Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, one of those close by the mirage see water. If this flower would exist objectively, why don't I see this flower as I go closer to this object? Okay, now let us subject the flower to ultimate analysis. By going closer to the flower, we first see through electron microscope, we first see the cells, and then within the cells we see the nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane. Within the nucleus we see the chromosomes, and the chromosomes are not at all beautiful to look at. They are like striped brownish snakes, very repulsive to look at. It doesn't mean that snakes are bad or repulsive, but this is our projection of the snake is repulsive. It is our mistake. So where is this flower now? In our ultimate analysis, we now end up seeing the chromosomes, which in turn are made of DNA molecules, which in turn are made of atoms. Okay, stay there. What do you see now? I'm just seeing pool of atoms. Where is this beautiful flower which you earlier saw? It's nowhere there. What do you see now? If at all there's something that I see, the atoms. Which the atom is to be identified as intrinsically one with the flower, meaning that objectively in our ultimate analysis, where is the flower amidst the atoms? Which of the atom is the flower? None. If you are sure of this, you got the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with these parts. Okay. Now see the other possibility. If the flower is not to be identified as intrinsically one with its parts, here the atoms, then see if it exists differently from its intrinsically different from its parts. Remove all the atoms. What is there as the flower? Nothing is left there as the flower is different from the parts, the atoms. Okay. If you are sure of that, this is the essential understanding of emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Okay, with these two possibilities ruled out, what do you deduce? That objectively, if these two things are not there, then objectively the flower cannot exist. If you're sure of this, and this is for the essential understanding the provision, that anything which is empty of being intrinsically one or intrinsically different from its parts entails the emptiness of the objective existence of the flower. Okay. Now you are too close to the object in the eyes of the ultimate analysis. Now where is this flower in our ultimate analysis? No way to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while. Stay in this experience of non-affirming negative. Slowly transform this most fearless mind of the wisdom emptiness into a spotless, clean Vajra, Thosamling white Vajra, vertically shooting in the moon just to the heart. Okay, now amazing. You have the moon, symbolic of the conventional Boddhicitta, the altruistic mind to become Buddha for the benefit of demons sentient beings. This will exterminate the self-centered attitude, one of the two demons within me. And Vajra symbolizing ultimate the Boddhicitta, referring to the non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. This will guarantee to exterminate all the mental defilements, afflictive as well as cognitive, thereby guaranteeing you that your Buddha nature will become manifest fully. You experience the total fearlessness and infinite happiness. Yes, that's amazing. Meanwhile, let's not forget about your two parents, all the children, all the family members, and all dear mother sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddess spirits, and here, and all the say the people who are like Venerable Samula, and all the people who are taking the responsibility to sustain this center, and the people like the cooks, the staff to take care of the surrounding here, and all the stuff, and the insects here, cats, dogs, insects, in your own country, in the world, in the entire universe. Yes, that's true. So with the incredible compassion towards all these beings, you invoke the Vajramuni to how to multiply infinite number of times. Share one side of the Vajramon at the heart of your mother, one side with the father at his heart, one side with each one of your children, your family members, each one of the beings here in Thosamling, the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, God, the spirits, God and goddesses, and each one of the sentient beings in India, in the world, in your country, in the world, in the entire Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe. Wow, that's amazing. Now everyone has to share a Vajramon to exterminate two demons, and that everybody to experience the total fearlessness and infinite happiness. That's amazing. Wow. Meanwhile, let us not forget that all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are watching us with so much love and affection. Why not we invite all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to be the witness to undertaking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow together? And as just your request, to make the request to be the witness and a guest, along with all the sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, let us sit on your knees, right knees, and turn to page 50. Okay, today I'll just explain these verses, because that what we're doing is so precious and so meaningful, and that we're together for the next 3 days, and so to make the most of what we're doing here. So with this in mind, okay, Dola, yes, okay, don't go to prepare my breakfast. Okay. To make the most of our being together here, I'm going to explain this here, that just visualize all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are there as you have invited them, and they are like the mother. You as a little boy or little girl, just aged 4 or 5, for the first time in your life to make a public appearance on behalf of your school, and you're so excited, at the same time a little nervous. And imagine all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas like your parents. They leave everything behind to join the audience. Join the audience to just to give you moral support. They are there amongst the audience, waving their hands to tell you that we are here, we are so proud of you. And this is what all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are doing today. And you, as the eldest, the child, although you are just aged 4 or 5, you bring all the brothers and sisters with you to encourage to do something so meaningful today, to take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So with this in mind, reading the first verse, so what kind of performance is to activate your Buddha nature, to experience the total fearlessness and infinite happiness for yourself and for all the demon sentient beings. And for this is a journey which you have never undertaken before. It requires incredible degree of support, and the greatest support is the triple gem. So the first line says, "I'll go for refuge in the triple gem." And then this journey involves the road, and road must not be blocked by the boulders or the fallen trees and so forth. And the road is none other than your mind. You see, this mind must be freed of the boulders and the fallen trees of the negativities, negative thoughts, negative comments and so forth. We need to purify them. The best way by which to purify them is by confessing the negativities. So second line says, I confess the negativities individually. So now the road is very clear, but if the car doesn't have fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. And the car is none other than your own mind, and this mind should have the enough fuel of the virtues. And the best way by which to do so very effectively within a short span of time is by rejoicing in the virtues of all the beings, including yourself and all beings, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas and everyone else, instead of being jealous. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Okay, now you have great support. The road is clear. You have a car with full of the fuel. What kind of a journey are you going to undertake? I'm going to undertake a journey of enlightenment, Buddhahood, to awaken my Buddha's perfection with myself. The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, let's say this wholeheartedly 3 times. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge in the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay. The next 2 verses is the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, invoking all Buddhas, Gurus, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to pay respect, to pay heed to you. And it contains 2 verses. The first verse related to the past Buddhas, how they succeeded in undertaking this journey and now being able to benefit all the beings. Prince Siddhartha, just one young boy, one young man, he became enlightened, and now all these 2,500 years, how many of the beings are continuously being taken from the state of the darkness of miseries to the light of the fearlessness, infinite happiness. How did they succeed that? They succeeded with 2 factors. The first one, he generated very strong motivation to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, generate Boddhicitta. And second factor, to materialize this aspiration to become Buddha, he engaged in Bodhisattva practices such as 6 perfections and 4 perfections, making it 10. If this is how we succeeded, I will also follow his footsteps. I will also engage in 2 factors, create the 2 factors. One, I will also generate very strong motivation of Bodhicitta to become Buddha for the benefit of all demon sentient beings. And number 2, to materialize this aspiration, I will also engage in Bodhisattva practices. So you wholeheartedly say these 3 times, and during the third repetition, the last line of the third repetition, during that time, you just feel that you have received the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. You just feel the great joy of having received it. All sentient beings are with you now. All Buddhas are watching us. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Boddhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Boddhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Boddhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. apprentices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Boddhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva apprentices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind Boddhicitta, and I shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva apprentices. Oh, you feel the joy of having received this Bodhisattva vow, and you're so happy, and all the Bodhisattvas are so proud. All these many lifetimes, all this, and that they have expected that you engage in the courses, that you become fearless and you experience the ultimate happiness, but it never happened. We always engaged in the self-grasping ignorance, the inappropriate attention, afflictions, and the contaminant karmas, and thereby revolving in the samsara endlessly. And this is how the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have been always feeling so sad, demoralized. And today, what you did is something so special. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they couldn't really believe what you've done. It is like the mother not believing that after all these many years of receiving complaint from the school about you as a little girl or a little boy, the child is, there's so much complaint in school, and today the school principal is very different. Congratulating mother, and mother could not believe eyes and ears. What for you're congratulating? Your daughter and your son, two of them, they are appointed the best of the students of this school for this year. The mother could not believe her eyes and ears. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhists. They feel so proud of what you've done today. And Buddhists and Bodhisattvas, feeling this tremendous joy and happiness, invoke the Vajramoon in their hearts in the full-fledged form to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that we visualize in our heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed of what you have visualized in your heart. Likewise, like rain shower, all the replicas of the Vajramoon from the hearts of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with one that visualize at the heart of your mother, at the heart of father, at the heart of each one of your children, each one of your family members, each of the sentient beings, here in Deer Park, in India, in the world, in your own country, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and then the entire universe. Now, the Vajramoon that you have shared with all the beings, they're being blessed, they're being non-dual, they're being stabilized because of the Vajramoon from all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This is amazing. This is the greatest of the gift that you can think of, making to all the demon sentient beings, and today you have gifted them with this gift. And of all the offerings, the Buddha made it very clear that one moment of practicing compassion far excels offering all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas with the whole universe filled with gems, diamonds, gold, silver, and so forth. If this were to be the case, what I mentioned for our having taken the aspirants Bodhisattva vow, no doubt today you have made the greatest offering to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. And your life, this is of the greatest meaning. And you have given such meaning to your own life, you have extracted such meaning out of life today. And this all happened because of all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas' blessings. So as a gesture of thanking all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas, along with all the other sentient beings, slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Okay, let us turn to page 51. Please sit comfortably now. Page 51. This practice which we did today, to make sure that in the future lives as well we come in contact with this teaching or this practice, that we are not deviated. Just imagine that, say like today, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, if all the world leaders are like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, no wars, all these problems will stop. Likewise, if somebody does this practice wholeheartedly, we can't imagine this person to ever become a terrorist, will never become. So will only be somebody to create peace, harmony in the world, in a family, in the world. So this is so precious for yourself and for the world, for all the beings. So this is not just to be left and done in this life, but to continue to carry it on, to improve yourself, to create the progress within yourself, life after life, till Buddhahood. So for that matter, we include that in the future lifetimes, that we continue with this practice. We include that in the form of a very powerful prayer. Page 51, 3 times. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. And the next verses, they are all taken from Guided Bodhisattvas of Life. To feel the joy of having generated bodhicitta, and some people, they since childhood, the moment they hear the word bodhicitta, they feel so connected. Some people, the moment they see monks and nuns, they feel so connected. The moment they see, some people, when they hear the word emptiness, instantly they feel connected. They feel that this is something there, and then they go into this and they discover this whole treasure to eradicate your mental defilements, become fearless, and be extremely sensible, kind towards other beings. So this is because that in the past lives they feel the joy over having practiced the wisdom of emptiness and bodhicitta. So these verses are to feel the joy over having met with these teachings, studied this, reflected upon, and meditated upon. So with this, in the future lifetimes, when you encounter any of these teachings, even hearing these, we see that you feel so connected. You feel the joy over there. And the joy is the one that connects you to the things. Okay, so we'll recite this to invoke the joy over having generated the 2 bodhicittas. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsteady trace. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tied on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessence of butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guys traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay. So let us dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. And particularly his aspiration of the universal ethics to be disseminated everywhere, to be included as a proper academic or proper school curriculum, academic curriculum in the world over, so that the world leaders in the future will be very different. World leaders will be very sensible, who believe in dialogue and who believe in harmony rather than conflicts and divides. So let's pray that this vision of His Holiness actually comes into culmination, to be adopted by all the schools, universities, the countries, and eventually by UNO. And let's pray that all these learnings, incredibly precious, the centers, learning centers of the Boddhicitta and wisdom of emptiness, let's pray that they thrive in the activities of study, reflection, meditation on these, and may the world be a better world, more peaceful world, where all these strife, tension, stress, and the divides dissolve, that everybody feels the world as one family. I dedicate the merit thus gathered to the realization that it is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect and the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds is blinded by ignorance. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswatyata Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha. Okay, 3 persuasions together.